Hey guys, Monks2 here, and today we're going to start a new series. This is called Monks After Action Reviews. This is where I'll go over someone's gameplay and I'll give tips and tricks on how to improve, tell them what they're doing right, tell them what they're doing wrong, and overall just saying what could be done and what could be done in each situation. This is by no means a negative thing. Generally, as humans, we learn more from our mistakes than successes, so if I'm showing you gameplay with relatively low amount of mistakes. I do make mistakes, of course, everyone does. Everyone potatoes once in a while, but if I show you gameplay just from one perspective all the time, it may not necessarily help you. Sometimes it's better to see just a full-on description of what happens in the game, what could be done to improve this game, and if you're really interested, please do take a look at our Discord. We'll have a channel made shortly, it's about to be released, when you can post these links showing these games off. Now, I don't want great games. I want games where you're wanting to learn from them. I want games where you're willing to learn. Anyway, without much further ado, we'll hop on to the actual game here. I did miss out on some things while I was talking. Celeste over here in the Helena is supporting the Shiratsu on the capture of the B cap. He should be accelerating a little bit here because he can get a better coverage of the B cap if he moved closer, move forward basically. Because you could shoot over the island. Because on the B cap, if you're a destroyer, the odds are you'll be on that top left part of the cap there, behind the islands where you're safe from being return fire from any fire. Anyway, fortunately the Shiratsu has capped. We have spotted the Akatsuki though, and the shot was a little bit, not much lead taken at all. Actually, no lead whatsoever. It's a bit of a badly, poorly aimed shot there. It was a good shot, don't get me wrong, but the Akatsuki is very likely to move forward in that situation. You would have to give plenty leads. Helena shells are very slow, so at range at least they get really floaty. So you definitely want to be adjusting as much as you can. So if you think he's going to go forward, please give lead accordingly. Because the Shiratsu is capped B, the best course of action is to move to C. So Celeste is doing something 100% right here. Everything he is doing, it's just a little bit delayed in my opinion. But that's just, you know, I'm coming from a relatively seasoned cruising player to someone who's not amazing at it. So overall, he's making all the right calls. Really making all the right calls. Here we spot our first problem here. If you look at the minimap, you can actually see the DD is spotted by, there we go, he's over there. Celeste does not shoot the DD over there. That DD is easily shootable. If you look at the minimap, that island is small enough for the Helena to shoot over. Any shots that could have done there could have put panic, could have put pressure on the DD, and that could have added extra damage, potentially saved that battleship there who's getting messed up. He does get dev strike, that Normandy is taken down, and there was no pressure being put on there by Celeste, so a bit of a misplay there. You need to check your minimap as much as possible. Very useful tool, incredibly useful. I'd rather take a couple of pot shots at a DD than farm a battleship for a little bit. You know, plus Helena shells again, as I said, very floaty, so hitting things at range is kind of difficult. You know, I'm not saying it's not impossible, it's kind of difficult. Anyway, we're spotted by the enemy Akatsuki. He's popped a plane up for a little bit of pre-warning for torpedoes, which is good. So at this point, you want to be heading towards the torpedo threat, and you want to be bow on to that torpedo threat. So you don't want to be sailing in a straight line like you're doing right now, unfortunately. What you're doing is you're basically making yourself an easy torpedo target. So even if you're running sonar, even if you're running the plane, sometimes the torpedo spread would just be too much for you to dodge. You might take one or not. So there's a bit of an early sonar proc here. The plane and your steering should easily be enough to dodge Akatsuki torpedoes here. Using sonar early on can be problematic, it can be a good idea. I'm not going to say it's really kind of a misplay, but at least you have the plane out, that's kind of your plane spots torpedoes as well. That's the biggest thing. Again, look at the minimap, look at this right here. Instead of looking at a nearly dead Queen Elizabeth, we should be shooting the DD here. He's still to our right, we should be turning our ship in advance there. To the left, we should be turning left and right. If we are dodging potential torpedoes, we might have actually had a chance to get more than one front guns off on the DD. It could have been all guns, and it could have been at least 2 salvos total. So 2 salvos of full gun salute on the Akatsuki could have done a lot more damage. So we've missed out on 2 opportunities to do some serious damage on Akatsuki. And Akatsuki's just dead struck another battleship. So he's becoming a big problem for our team. At this point, you're not going to outrun an Akatsuki. So what you need to be doing is you need to be turning back into the B cap and holding their team back. The Helena is exceptionally good at that. It's just very similar to the Atlanta playstyle. You want to be using those islands and harassing the team. Fortunately though, the Akatsuki does misplay on his own and gets himself spotted, which is good. You mess him up with a good salvo there. And again, we've been sailing in a straight line for so long. It's a kind of a difficult dodge. We've had to slow down, we've had to turn. If you're maneuvering a little bit, those torps would be nowhere near close. And yeah, you'd have a better time with it really. So again, instead of pinging, we should be turning. There we go, we're doing this. This is good. This is good right here. Great idea. Turn to get all your guns going. He's already fired the torpedoes, no real threat. And look at that salvo. Absolutely good. That's when you get a full salvo. That could have been done earlier in this game. And the Akatsuki does is it a Shiratsu? I forget. This maybe I think it was a Sasio. I don't know what DD is. I couldn't read this thing on the screen. But he does take it down. Unfortunately though, because of those small things that you see, you can look at the minimap, that guy, that RDD has taken some damage there. So he's because of the Akatsuki wasn't killed earlier, the damage that he did not do, it's directly cost the team essentially at least a battleship and a lot of that health from that destroyer. I think the first battleship would have been destroyed no matter what Slisto did, unless he managed to detonate him somehow. But the damage done would have been helpful in the DD versus DD fights. So these 3 small things help contribute to how your team will perform, because you have to assume that your team will be the worst possible team in the game, because chances are you won't have the best teammates, unfortunately. But you might do, and you'll be happy when you do. So we see the Benson here. Great idea, shoot the Benson. It's well worth that salve from those battleships. I'd like to see some maneuvering though, some slowing down, some alteration of speeds. Aimed a little bit too high there. King George, let me see here. Got King George and Mutsu. Mutsu's a little bit closer. I'd be shooting the Mutsu. It's very unlikely he'll be able to do much to King George. King George does go down, so again, a bit of a wasted salvo, but we didn't know. That's all hindsight. I would be definitely shooting with the Mutsu right now, and I would be accelerating to get behind the island as fast as I could. So we get a good shot on the Mutsu. This is a really ideal range. This is what I meant by getting to medium range in the Helena. If you can see, they're right there. Perfect position right now. Okay, took a little bit of fire, but he's doing perfect position. Should have slowed down a little bit in advance there. It would have been easier for him. Now, what I would do in this situation is pop my plane, first thing. Yeah, and pop my plane. There we go, he does it now. And I would go... I would stay stationary there. There we go, perfect, because he stops with the torpedoes, because that's probably what the DD does there. Perfectly done. Now my plan would be to move forward and go and try and assist my battleship on A. The reason I do that is because he could use the help and I might have the chance to kill the DD on the way there. Okay, so yeah, this backup here, I understand what you're doing it. You're doing it to try and get rid of the Mutsu early on, but the Mutsu is not the biggest threat. It's the destroyer, and helping out the battleship would be key. At this point, you're not really protecting anyone. The DD's well in cover over there. There's no risk to him. Battleship could be helped. You're reversing into a potential Normandy threat there. Well, this could be bad actually. Oh no, okay, he kind of overshot you a little bit. That was fortunate. Again, I would be accelerating here, trying to get to that DD. You've got sonar running. Now's your chance to rush the DD. Okay, there we go. Again, the sonar is useful, but it's not going to help you when you're behind the island. You're going to want to turn it on. Then, as soon as you have it on, use it. That's a couple, you know, that extra couple seconds on the sonar use might, you know, be clutch for you. So again, I wouldn't be going this way. I would be sailing far left behind the island. That way I could push the DD and have cover from the Normandy. Normandy does take a pot shot, or is that the Benson? I'm not 100% sure. Probably was a Normandy. Benson does show up and he's over there. We didn't know where he could be. Torpedoes are spotted by the sonar, so of course, very good play. And rushing the Benson is the optimal play at this point here. So I would be turning the other way, going the right hand side. Much easier to get all your guns facing. The best thing to turn guns is turning your ship. So there we go. If you're turning this way, you're going to commit fully and get the far right turn because you're missing out on these guns here. These back 3 guns really should be put into action. Oh, back 2 guns, sorry. You kind of missed out on a little bit of a salvo there. Again, I may seem like I'm being a little critical, but the Akatsuki was very low in health. Every single shot counted. We did take him out, which is good, and our sonar just ran out. If we had a couple more seconds and maybe we couldn't see those torpedoes before we launched them, might be kind of, you know, clutch and key here. So we're going to turn hard left here. Oh, there we go, we do see them just in time. And we're going to go pop our plane up, hopefully. We do see the Normandy. We are kind of broadside to Normandy. Pretty risky. We're not going to pop the plane, sorry. I would like to pop the plane. More information is always good at this point. We're going to duke our salvo, that's very good. And we are going to cap and run away. Now, I would not be shooting. Because every time you shoot, that's 20 seconds onto your thing, onto your concealment when it's max range. Just simply not shooting at this point would be the optimal play. Yeah, I understand the mindset. If you're spotted, you might as well just shoot. But your detection was 10.4. If you didn't shoot, you would have been spotted right now. You would not be spotted right now. And this salvo would not have been... You would not be able to hit the salvo. And, you know, this nearly killed you, you know. This could have been game over and no win for the Normandy right there. So, shooting there was a big misplay and that could have cost you the whole game there. Fortunately though, you were lucky and you didn't get absolutely smacked. So that was good. You do sharp shooting, which is great, and you're capping this area, which you do need to do in order to win this game. The extra damage in Normandy was not needed. He's got plenty of health. He's not going to be killed anytime quickly. Even if you triple set up and that was a perma triple set, it's not going to kill him, at least very quickly. So next thing here, I would be moving about as much as possible in this cap, while trying to cap of course, because you do need to cap this objective. But stationary is just generally a bad idea. If you get caught, if he fires blind where your last known position is, he could easily kill you again with that much health. So very risky right now doing that. Alright, we do get the cap, and that's great, and now we get the high tail out here. Very good here. I understand why I didn't pop the plane, but I would have popped it earlier to spot the Normandy in the first place. This is way back, but yeah, this is a nice clear mop up here. Callisto knows that the cap means you've got the points advantage. We had the points advantage anyway, but because you have the 2 caps, he'll never catch up in the time. So all he needs to do is just simply run away. It's a very good play by Callisto, and he's actually carried this game 100%. He did make misplays, right? No one is perfect. I must highlight this. No one is perfect. I make misplays like this all the time. But this is what I would say to improve on. Be a bit quicker on your map. Check your minimap more often. And generally, just be more observant as much as possible in a cruiser. And think when is a good idea to fire. Because certain ships have certain strengths. And sometimes it's not a good idea to farm the extra damage. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It certainly was a very weird video to make, at least from my perspective. I want to highlight real quick that, you know, no matter what anyone does in these games, the fact that they're willing to learn and they're brave enough to give you these replays, they deserve a lot of respect, and I'll not have anyone slanting them at all. So yeah, just a wee strict warning there. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.